call this video the escalation muscle or the escalation balance. And here's a couple stories for you. I had a couple dates recently. One of them, the first one, I was very energetic, very masculine, dominant, forward, and just escalated a lot and was very fun, flirty, encroaching on boundaries constantly, in a good way, I thought. So it was very much a playful, fun, flirty, giggly type of date where, I'm very charming, very sweet, very slightly overbearing at times, where, we're sitting next to each other and I scooch next to her and, we're touching shoulders and I'm like, being like, oh wow, like, touching her like arm and her legs and, just very much just right off the bat, very like comfortable, very assuming attraction. And several times I would go in like, going for kisses and stuff like that. And that said, this one girl did mention, because we had made out at a bar previously and we set up a date to come back, and she was like, yeah, that was very like out of character for me, like to be like making out like that. And my friends were like, were you on something that night, like, and she's like, yeah, but we're not doing that this time, or something like that. So moral of the story is she kind of had walls up from the get-go. So honestly, at that point I could have been like, just played it very cool, very aloof, and been like, in your head, really the frame or what's really being said here is like, she is just here to see what's up, but the interest isn't 100% there. She's not in my frame, not fawning over me, not chasing me, whatever. So she's very much at this like neutral stance. So in my opinion, it's not the strongest lead to work with in general, but in most cases, guys, I think there is an escalation muscle and an escalation balance that needs to be had. So the escalation muscle, you need to get used to and comfortable with and developing moves for escalating. So that's stuff like where, tried and true methods like examining the rings on the fingers, or touching her tattoos, or moving locations like, hey, let's go bounce over to this bar and rip a shot, or let's go do this or that, like things, or pool, seating pools, like, like maybe you have some board games at your place or a hot tub or something like that, and those are your excuses to advance and escalate. Or I have a couple like kiss lines that I do, like, wow, I'm getting an urge to kiss you right now, like I kind of want to, can I, or something like that. Stuff like that where, when you need to escalate, you've done it before, you've flexed that escalation muscle already, and you're able to do it. Because if you're too much on the other end of the spectrum, too aloof, too chill on all these dates, now like the kiss is very like built up, it's very tense, like you don't do it that often, you're not that comfortable with it. So like I think it's still valuable to have a couple dates where you're just escalating, and now you're that guy, like you can do it when the time comes. Then you strike a balance of being aloof, cool, giving her space to chase, to talk, to invest, to ask you questions. You pull away, you do little teases like, you had me there, but I guess we're done now. It was nice knowing you, walk away. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. Stuff like that, right? Because now I'm in this frame where, we're both neutral parties here coming to a deal. There's very much a lot of underlying themes of negotiation, of who has more leverage in their interaction, who has more power, who's chasing who has more power, who is higher value, stuff like this. And when you're over escalating, you're constantly being like, I'm trying to buy you, I'm trying to buy you, I'm trying to buy you. And she now gets all that validation of, he's going to escalate, he likes me, he's going for it. I can just sit back and do nothing because he's doing all the work. You do want girls to have some sentiment of chasing you, or wow, like that guy was really cool, like why didn't he like kiss me more, or like whatever, or like, he pulled away a couple of times, or there were moments where he was like kind of doing his own thing and aloof, right? You do want that question in her mind and that allure and that chase. So there's very much a balance. As the man, you're gonna a lot of times have to be the one to escalate, go for the kiss, go for a pool seed. She's not gonna be like, well, I have a Mario Kart back at mine, you wanna come play? That stuff will happen, but as a guy, as a dominant masculine dude, you need to make stuff happen, you know? So I think you need to be comfortable escalating. And to do that, a couple times you have to go on dates where you're just very comfortable doing so. And so my second date, I was very much more in that balance where I was cool, just like there was nothing she could poke holes in my verbal game, in my personality, in my neediness, in my being overly escalating or anything like that. It was very much just a balanced type of date where she's talking a lot, I'm asking questions, I'm doing little teases, little jokes. She's having a good time, the vibes are okay. We're bouncing to different locations, I'm suggesting things, we're going, and leading when I can, things like that. You don't necessarily want, if you're too aloof, you sometimes get led, or you sometimes start asking the girl what she wants to do. Yeah, I mean, because, like, you're so aloof, you don't care what you do, so, like, you want to go here, you want to go here, I don't know, I can't choose, I can't decide, I can't lead, I'm not, dominant, right? You don't want to be on that side of things, but on the other end of the spectrum, if you're too comfortable with yourself and too just comfortable leading, like, hey, let's go over here, let's do this, like, ooh, wow, like, nice legs, like, you're feeling her legs, like, come here, give me a kiss, like, you're very in control. It's, like, too much because, and then the fact that you're so action taking and so forward, the girl just, like, almost, like, starts closing up because you're pushing out so hard that in the natural energetic response is to close up slightly. You want to allow the flower to open gracefully and finesse so that you can slide in there. So the flower will open when it sees value and it is comfortable in your presence. And so if you're too overbearing, too escalating, it becomes less comfortable for her. So I think a nice balance is like 60-40 escalation. You're giving her room, you're being cool, balanced, calibrated dude on the date. You're leading when you can, very in a gradual, slow manner. You're not needy for the sale. You don't have to you don't have to bang on the first date. You don't have to make out on the first date if it's really not there. Stuff like this. You're totally okay as the person receiving an inbound sales inquiry. You're totally okay not closing the sale. Like, if it's not a good fit, if it's not there, you don't need the sale. You don't need to make $500, off the person right then and there. You're totally okay being like, yeah, okay. It seems like you got, you're still looking around. Totally cool. Feel free to reach out when the chance arises. Like, me personally, I'm not a hard closer. I don't need to close every freaking sale that walks in my door. Hey, I'm here I'm open for business. If it's a good fit, I have something I can offer you, and I'm going to do it if you want it. It's literally, if you want it, it's there. I'm cool. I'm not a weird guy. I'm not, whatever, right? So I would say strike a balance, flex your escalation muscle, realize that there's a spectrum here. I tend to be, I tend to go off the deep end. I tend to be a little extreme sometimes. So I'll do a ton of escalation, or I'll do, completely the opposite. I think a lot of things are balanced. So if you're just a balanced, calibrated dude that is comfortable escalating because you've done this stuff before, you've been in moments where you did have to hard close, you did have to make, pull things together to get a very a complex pull or whatever, right? You've been on all sides of the spectrum. Once you have experienced that spectrum, now you can just rest in the middle and be where you want to be. But you do have to flex that muscle occasionally and then find your balance. And I think I'm finding my balance now because I've been doing this a while. I've been going on dates. I've been talking to girls, escalating, pooling, and stuff like that. So I know what pools look like. I know what kiss closes look like, makeouts, things like this. And, at the end of the day, now you can become that guy that has options. He doesn't need to close every sale. He has things going for him. And you realize when girls are interested, when they're not. You don't need to, like, confirm every date and, like, hey, are you still coming? Please, like, let's hang out, let's do this, let's do that. Maybe she'll want to hang out with you. Maybe she'll hit you up and want to go on a date, right, when you have value. So there's very much also a concept, I'll just touch on this briefly as well, of inbound versus outbound, right? So who's chasing, who's going to who. You want to eventually cultivate an inbound flow to where the girl is coming to you. So one thing I've started implementing more is actually Instagram game. So instead of getting a number and then just trying to pound down to get her on a date and hey, like, let's do this. I don't know if I can this day, but maybe I can work it in this day. Okay, great. Let's do that day. I'll confirm 2 days before, and then I'll confirm again. Hey, are you still coming? Hey, are you still coming? As opposed to You get her Instagram, you're posting cool stories. She's starting to see, wow, this guy's like really attractive, fit, great, has friends, like is doing stuff. Like, I want to see what's up with him. Like, I'll like his story, or, I'm going to like watch his stories and like lurk from afar. And now she's interested in you and coming to you, right? And now you can show up on that date from this point of, she's trying to buy me. I'm not trying to buy her. Inbound, right? Giving space, giving time for her to invest, maybe escalate on me, maybe be ready for the kiss, or hinting at a kiss, or putting herself in positions to get kissed, right? So, and then as the guy that can do that because you've done it before, you do it. Peace.